Yo guys, this is Targetmaster from the Revolution, and this is the first loadout video I've made for the new channel. So this video is going to be a complete guide for controlling. I'll put links in the description for the various different sections, but I'm going to be covering SP, the loadout, the powers, basic rotations, and generally how to play as a controller. So to start off with, I'm going to go through the SP. Now it doesn't matter if you've got more SP than me or less SP than me. This should hopefully be able to explain where to place your SP in terms of priority, and then you'll be able to go from there. So very first thing you want to do is put one in your movement mode. Now you can go for your resistances. I personally don't find that particularly useful in PvE. It's more useful for PvP, but in PvE I wouldn't go for them. Just go for your main movement mode. Okay, so in terms of your weapons, the very first thing you want to do, provided you've got enough SP of course, which I think will be 7 in each one, so that'll be what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You'll need 77 SP to be able to do this first of all. You want to go into each of the trees and spend 4 down the middle. You then want to go into dominance, vit or power on your first line, because what they do is they give you 1% critical power chance. Now this is absolutely the most important stat for a troll. Even if you were to lose 300 vit, having the extra 11% critical power chance will give you a lot more power out during the course of an alert or a raid, so make sure you get those first. They are absolutely the most important things. Now once you've done those, and provided you've got enough SP, you then want to spend 21 skill points in the trees that you want to unlock for your weapon mastery. So you're going to need 2 trees that you want to unlock for weapon mastery. So depending on what weapon you want to use, you're going to spend 20 in total across all of these, and then unlock the weapon mastery at the top. Now what that does is it makes you do more damage with that weapon, and it also unlocks a second row of combos which combo into a different one, and they also unlock a bottom row of innates. So as a troll, for me there's only 3 weapons that you should possibly be using. There's brawling. If you're never going to be solo trolling, if you're always going to have 2 trolls in the group, brawling probably is the best all-round weapon. If you're solo troll, I think one-handed or staff are both better, and I'll explain that later, but those 3 weapons are the best weapons. So in this instance I'm going to be speccing into a staff weapon mastery. So I've got my dominance first. The next one that I go for, if it's got it, is vit on the second row. Now this one doesn't have vit on the second row, so I've gone for critical attack chance, precision and defense. That then gives me 20, which I can then spend on the mastery, and then I unlock the vit at the bottom. So the one that combos into is rifle, so let's just have a look at rifle. So you have to unlock the specific moves in the weapon mastery, which I've done here, straight down the middle and one to the left. I've then got the vit power heal crit, and I've got the critical attack chance. Now dominance is more important than ever for a troll, because in the higher raids you need 3000 dominance. So I've specced into second row dominance, and then just spent the last 2 on precision in the bottom row. Again, there's no vit on the second row, so don't worry about if there isn't vit on your chosen weapon mastery, but we'll get into that in a second. So that's unlocked that, and I've got the vit at the bottom, the 3 vit. That gives me an extra 24 vit from the bottom. Okay, so that's my weapon mastery done. So I've then got 9 other trees. So You can unlock those so that you get the bottom row of innates, but you need to prioritise them into what's going to maximise your stats. So if we go through them, let's have a look what's going to maximise my stats. You can see I've not unlocked bow, and the reason for that is there is no VIT in the second row, so all I've done is get the critical power chance. Brawling, you can see I have unlocked, got the dominance on the top and the critical attack damage, and the reason I've unlocked it is because there's a second row of VIT, which gives me an extra 12 vitalisation. So by unlocking that I can get that and also the bottom row of VIT. Dual pistols, again there's no second row, so all I do is get the one on the top, so just 7 skill points spent on that one. Dual wield, there is the second row of it, so I make sure I unlock it with the dominance power heal crit. I get the 6 VIT, and then I just spend the rest on whatever is most suitable. So in this case it's the attack ones, and then I can unlock the bottom row again. Hand blasters, yep, that's got your second row of it, so I've got the power heal crit at the top, critical attack chance and the VIT. The remaining ones I've spent in precision on this one because there's no dominance across there, and then that allows me to unlock that one again. Martial arts, we've got the second row of it, so we unlock it. Again, there's no dominance in the second row, so I've just spent it on the attack ones and then the bottom row of it again. One-handed, there's nothing on there apart from dominance that you need, but you don't want to go out of your way to get dominance, so I've just unlocked the power heal crit chance. Rifle, of course, is part of my weapon mastery. Shield, yep, we've got the second row of it, so unlocked the power heal crit, damage, and then you can see that I've spent the rest on dominance, and then of course the VIT at the bottom. And then last is two-handed, and there is nothing there. Right, and then there's one more thing that we need to talk about. You can see I've got 199 skill points. Now, to fully unlock the rows, at the moment I need 197, which gives me 2 spare skill points. So what I do with those, I don't save them to an armory. Until I've got enough to fully unlock another row, I don't save them to an armory. What I do is just spend them on health and dominance on the bottom rows that I've already unlocked. As a troll you get double dominance, so this gives me 7 dominance, doubled to 14, so I've got 28 dominance from putting those 2 skill points in. Now if I get another 10, then that will give me an extra 140 dominance by putting them in the dominance, which of course gets me over 3000 dom, allows me to crowd control in Elite, Throne of Hades. Throne of the Dead. Okay, so that's the skill points, and what that does combined with my gear gives me stats of this. Now the main ones I want to look for are vitalisation and dominance. Vitalisation ultimately is how much power you can give back to the group. Now your power over time move will go up by 1 every 14 of these that you get, and the more of it you have, generally the more power you can give back, so you want to maximise that as much as possible. Dominance is what allows you to crowd control enemies, and every 500 dominance will increase the stun duration for 1 second. Now at the moment every troll should be aiming for 3000 dominance. You can see that I can't reach that yet. Once you're full 100 gear you'll be quite close to it, and then you'll have to spec the rest in with your SP. In terms of mods for your gear to maximise your stats, for your head and your shoulders you want to go with VIT and Dom. Now in the past it didn't really matter about Dom because you always met the entry requirements anyway just through your gear. Now you need to actually spec into Dom, so VIT and Dom is the way to go in your head and your shoulders. In your neck for the white mod you want escalating replenishing procs. What that does is every 60 seconds it will give you power back through weapon attacks, and it also increases your overall vitalization by 20. In the back, hands, waist and feet, you want your VIT. Just go pure VIT. That will give you the maximum amount of vitalization you can get, and also of course give you your socket bonuses. In terms of white mods for the back, I go for breakout protection, although breakout regeneration's just as good. Hands I go for max damage. It's not really anything for a gadget troll because I don't use shields. Now if you are a different troll and you've got a personal shield, you can go for the shield one, but still I would personally go for max damage. And in the feet, just go for your movement mode. So I'm acrobatic, so I go for tumbling master. If you haven't got a suitable one for your movement mode, then something like deadly block would probably be the best. In the chest and legs, what you want to go for is VIT and precision. Now as a troll you will actually have quite a lot of might, and you can do quite a lot of damage through might, but you're not aiming to do damage through might. Most of your damage is going to come from precision attacks, so therefore go for VIT precision. It will just let you do a little bit more damage, and it of course gives you the bonus for your socket. In terms of the white mods, go for penetrating strikes for chest. A lot of people have asked me in the past, why don't you go for extended supercharge? The reason for that is you only get one extra supercharge out of it per raid, because as a troll you're going to be using your supercharge as you need it. So if you go in with a full supercharge, great, you've got one extra supercharge essentially, but you're going to be using them before you fill them, before you fill it completely back up, so you're not going to get the most benefit out of it during the course of a raid, whereas penetrating strikes will make you do a lot more damage. So that's how I go for. You can go for extended supercharge. Personally I wouldn't. In the rings just go for pure VIT. Okay, so that's how to spec your gear, that's how to spec your SP, and hopefully it should maximise your VIT and your DOM, and also allow you to do a bit of damage, because you can do some decent damage as a troll as well. In terms of powers as a gadget troll, this is how I spec. So in the tactics tree, go all the way down the middle to paralysing dart. Get defibrillator because that's your instant power. Fear gas and gas grenade. Cryo foam. And then battle drone, which is your supercharge. And in devices all I get is sticky bomb and distract. Iconic powers, that leaves you 4 to spend. Now you absolutely want to get these two here. Intimidating gaze gives you 25 dominance, which doubles up to 50, and then you also want this one, which gives you 50 VIT. The two that are left over, I go for the attack ones, so 3% critical attack damage chance and 10% damage. In terms of the loadout that I use, it's this. Now, the way that I've bought the powers is changeable, and I'll talk about this while we go through the powers. Now, for pot, which is power over time, you want to use sticky bomb. Now, power over time, you cast this once every 20 seconds or 25. You can do it either way, either 20 or 25, although if you do it 20 seconds it is better. And it gives the group power back. Now if you're going with 2 trolls, only the troll with the highest VIT should be casting this, because it is the most effective way of giving power back, because the higher your VIT gives. In terms of what it does, it stuns enemies and gives power back constantly. Defib is your instant power. I use Paralysing Dart for an attack debuff and what is our best stun as a Gadget troll. Gauss Grenade as the defense debuff. Battle Drone for supercharge, and Distract for various things, which I'll explain now. So, typical rotation using that, you want to use Sticky Bomb for your power. So if I throw that, you can see it's giving me 435 power back and stuns the enemies. Now you'll see every 5 seconds that gives me 435 power back. Although the sparring targets are kind of overwriting that. Okay, now you can reapply this every 20 seconds, and the easiest way to do it is by using Distract. So if you clip Sticky Bomb with Distract, again you'll see that it gives me the 435 back every 5 seconds. But what Distract acts as is a timer. So as soon as that comes off cooldown, you'll see it gives me 435, and then I recast it and I get 2 ticks of 435. Now this isn't the most power effective way for me because I'm essentially wasting a power, but what it does mean is everyone else gets a free tick of power over time. So that is the best way to do it for the group. Now in between your pot, you want to make sure that you're doing your weapon combos and casting your instant power. Okay, now what that does is it gives power back to the 3 people with the lowest amount of power in the group. And in terms of everything else, if there's ads which are running around the place, you want to throw Paralysing Dart on them, and that will stun them. It's a very, very nice stun. Stuns a big AoE, and it just keeps them still. If there's a ad or boss that needs to go down fast, you want to throw a defense debuff on them, which is Gauss Grenade. Again, that also stuns them, but it's not the most effective stun because they tend to break out of it quite fast. Now these last for about 10 seconds, so you just need to make sure you reapply them. And what you can do, if there is a enemy which heals itself in a particular raid, for example Ares in Throne of the Dead, you can swap out, or sorry, the Cerberus in Hall of Hades is probably the best one. You can swap out Paralysing Dart for Cryofoam, which is a heal debuff, and it stops the enemy from healing. Okay, so that's your typical rotation. The other thing to bear in mind is your supercharge. So if I just show you this, what you want to do is when the whole group is on about half power, cast your supercharge. And what that essentially does is it gives you ticks every second. So it's like having 2 pots up at the same time, and the group won't go out of power. When it reaches half, I cast a trinket. And the reason for that is it makes the ticks bigger, but it also lasts long enough so that you get a big burst at the end, which I'll show you in a sec. And then now, 2,134 that gave me. When it goes away, it gives a massive burst of power. If you have a trinket active, that burst of power is even bigger. So that's the way I do it. If I have a trinket off cooldown, I cast it halfway through the supercharge, and you should find that the group will always be completely full at the end of your supercharge, but also they don't go empty during your supercharge either, so there's less sort of oh shit moments with that supercharge. And that's pretty much it. I hope this video helps. If you've got any questions at all, just ask in the comments. I'll also be doing a video on this, on how to solo troll. I won't be going through all the skill points and things like that. It will just be the different gameplay, and I'll show how I solo troll. But until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.